And thank you, Francesca, and good afternoon, everybody. And welcome to our March Zoom at noon. I believe this is our 9th or 10th Zoom at noon, and these have proven to be extremely productive and beneficial, not only for those who are asking questions, but also for our staff so that we can get input from our residents on issues that are concerning them. So I want to thank you all for attending, and let's jump right into it, Francesca. And while Francesca is going to the next slide, I want to introduce the staff that we have on the call along with me. So we have our fire chief, Gary Harrington. We've got our police chief, Chris Giovanni. We have our public works director, Tom Good. We have our community development assistant director, Jason Chalkley. We have our Parks and Rec director, Stacy Weiss. We have Tedra Allen, our city clerk. We have Raj Verma, our utilities director. We have Francesca Constantini, who's our PIO, and then Lisa Emmerich, who is my assistant. So we have a good group of people on that'll be help me as we go through this and answering the questions that our residents have. So this is the agenda that we're going to use, the one that we traditionally use. I'll give you a quick update on some projects and initiatives that we have going on. Want to make sure everybody is aware on how to stay in touch with us. We have a plethora of means to follow the city, but I want to make sure that you are aware of that and also know how you can sign up for all of our social media platforms. Then we're going to jump into our question and answer period. We actually have quite a few questions this time. I believe we have 7 questions that the public has asked for in advance. And then those that are joining can also ask questions. And all you need to do in the next slide will show, just use your Q&A tab, and then you can go ahead and type in the question, and we'll get to that one during the question and answer period. And then we'll wrap up. I'm going to ask Stacy to go through a few slides on some upcoming events that we have. So next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, if you're on and you want to ask a question, just go to your Q&A tab, press that tab, and then you can type in the question, and we'll get to that during the question and answer period. All right. So here's a few updates. One of the hot topics in the city right now is short-term rentals. We cannot control people short-term using their residents for short-term rentals, but we can regulate certain elements of it, and that includes they must register, and then of course they must abide by all city codes. But we are receiving quite a few complaints, and I want to bring it to everybody's attention on how you can submit complaints 24/7. So you can go to our website and submit a complaint on the website, and there's the link right there, or there's a 24/7 hotline, and you can call that number there, and you will get a live person that you can make a complaint about. And then, of course, if it's a code violation or something that criminal activity, please go ahead and contact BSO as well. But if you want to just make a complaint about a short-term rental, you can do it on our website or using the 24/7 hotline. Next slide, please. Now we're going to be rolling out at the end of April, Text My Gov, and this is going to replace SeeClickFix. So I think most of you all know that SeeClickFix is the means that residents can use to go ahead and report mainly code violations or other issues that they may have with the city. SeeClickFix is app-based, and we're transitioning to Text My Gov, which doesn't require an app, and also is a number that you can text to 24/7, 365. You can use code words or keywords, simple keywords, and it'll get directed to the right department, or you can explain exactly what you want in the text. So we're going to be rolling this out at the end of end of April. We'll have more information on it on our website and in all of our social media platforms. And we're also sending out information on our next newsletter, our print newsletter, that should be going out to every resident in the city in the next couple of weeks. So keep your eye open for this. There's already a link on our website where you can check it out. But we'll be rolling this out, like I said, at the end of April, and then we'll be transitioning to Text My Gov from SeeClickFix. It just has a lot more capabilities. It's much more user-friendly. We can actually use it to have dialogues with the residents. So this is definitely an upgrade from SeeClickFix. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, please sign up for our newsletters. We send out a weekly newsletter on Thursday afternoons that has a plethora of information on what's going on in the city. So please, you can do it right now. You can scan that QR code, or you can go to our website, but make sure to sign up for our e-newsletter that we send out every Thursday. Next slide, please. And also, like I mentioned earlier, we're on every social media platform. Those are our addresses right there. So please follow us on whatever social media platforms, all the social media platforms that you use, but we're present on all of them. And we put most of our information out simultaneously on all of our social media platforms, on the website, and we also send email blasts as well. Next slide, please. Well, here we are. We're almost in April, and as everybody knows, June 1st, that's when hurricane season starts. And if it's been like the past few years, we've actually had some tropical storm conditions in May, even before hurricane season started. So now's the time to start thinking about hurricane season. For those of us who are veterans here in South Florida, we probably already have our kits together. We do need to, buy batteries and buy water and buy other things that we need to stock up on now. But for those of you that aren't, there's a lot of information to include on our website on what things you should do to be prepared for hurricane season. Here's just a few here. Now's the time to start cleaning out your drains, trimming trees, pruning trees. If you have someone do it, start making appointments with landscapers that do that, because they get very busy this time of year. But make sure to start making those preparations now. So if we do get a tropical storm in May, like we have been done in the past years, you're ready, or at least you're ready for hurricane season when it starts on June 1st. Other things to look at: make sure your insurance policies are up to date. Take pictures now of your residents, of your sensitive material, all of your furniture and your houses. Take pictures or videos now so they can use it. You can use it later for insurance purposes, and of course have a plan for all of your important documents. Next slide, please. And along those lines, we really urge everyone to sign up for our city's emergency notifications. You can do that on our website. We use Everbridge now, and we've used it a couple of times. It's been very effective, and we used it last year. I think it may have been Ian, where we used it, and we sent out a notification for trash pickup. But during emergencies, it's always beneficial for everybody to receive notifications from the city, and there's the address that you can go ahead and sign up for it. Next slide, please. We have a program going on right now where we're collecting gently used worn shoes. So if you have gently used worn shoes, please drop them off at the at City Hall, at our Public Works, at the Community Center, the Pool and Tennis Center. And this is for Broward Partnership for the Homeless, and it benefits the homeless in South Florida. Great program. One of our staff members really heads this up every year, Cheryl, and we really appreciate her doing that and all the contributions we get from our residents. Next slide, please. Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump into the question and answer period. And we received, like I said, we received quite a few questions, and so we're just going to roll through them right now. Here's one right here, the first one, and it deals with traffic. We seem to, another hot subject in the city, always get questions on traffic. And here's one about traffic on Sterling Road. And so here's the question. If you can go to the answer, Francesca. Okay, and I'm going to ask our chief, our police chief, Captain DiGiovanni, if you want to go ahead and answer this, Captain DiGiovanni, please.
Thank you, Mr. Napoli. Appreciate that. And I appreciate the question from the resident. Speeding is a hot topic that comes up very often, not just in this city, but also in all the cities of Broward County. So here in Cooper City, what we've done, the city has committed additional resources to combat speeding in the city. As far as last year, they added a traffic deputy to my team. So we have a dedicated traffic deputy, plus another one that we previously had. And then this year, what we did is we restructured the team itself to have a dedicated traffic supervisor that only supervises that team, consisting of 2 traffic deputies and 2 motors. In addition to that, what we've been working with the city on is creating proactive traffic enforcement operations that are funded separately. And so that way we've been able to roll out multiple monthly aggressive driving campaigns. So for example, last week, we actually had 3 such operations taking place where we wrote 54 citations, 30 of which were for speeding. And many of those were actually on Sterling Road because we hear the concerns of the residents on Sterling Road and also Flamingo and Griffin and Sheridan, the major thoroughfares, in other words. And so we're going to continue to have these proactive, aggressive driving campaigns, which is over and beyond what we already do during the normal working hours. These are additional hours of enhanced services that we're bringing in. Lastly, we're working still to get additional grant monies from the county under the base grant to try to bring additional traffic enforcement this year as well. And I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do that.
Great, thanks, Captain. Next question, please. Okay, what would be Zoom at Newman if we didn't have a question about trees? Again, another hot topic in the city, traffic. Trees are consistent issues that we address in the city, and our residents frequently have questions about. So this is the one about maintaining trees in the swale. And I'm going to go ahead and ask Francesco, you put the answer up there. I'm going to go ahead and ask Tom Good. I believe Tom is still on. If Tom could go ahead and answer this question.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Yes, so this question is basically asking, who's responsible for the trees and the swales. And the fact is that the city code of ordinance historically has required the property owners to maintain all the items in the swales, which include trees as well. However, the city over years has provided a courtesy service to maintain some of the trees, and essentially the city is responsible for taking care of everything that's within and that hangs within the right of way. So we do go out, we do trimming, and all that needs to be done is give us a call, let us know that you think the trees need to be trimmed, and staff will come out and evaluate it, and we'll take appropriate actions to that. We can be reached at 954-430-2300.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, 954-434-2300. All right, thank you, Tom. Pickleball, a sport that is just booming here in Cooper City. Our pickleball players are very active, always active on the courts, and always working with the city to try to improve the conditions at the pickleball courts. So we appreciate our pickleballers in the city and love working with them. So, the courts are always occupied, and this question is really looking towards the future on possibly converting some of our existing tennis courts into pickleball courts. And Francesca, if you can go ahead and put that up. Right now, we don't have any firm plans on expanding our pickleball courts. I know Tom and his team are really looking hard at how we can increase our pickleball courts throughout the city. We are looking at some potential options with some tennis courts. I can't say which ones right now, but we are inquiring about some that really belong to the school board that aren't being used. Maybe we can convert those. So we're working with the school board on potentially transitioning some tennis courts, and then we're looking at other areas throughout the city. So understand the question. Certainly a relevant question on how we can increase our pickleball courts throughout the city. And like I said, Tom and his team are looking at it actively, and we're also in discussions with the school board on possibly using some of the school board tennis courts to transition. So rest assured that this is on our radar and we're looking into it. So how do I search for a permit in the city? Another great question. Our residents are continually looking to improve their homes, or businesses are looking to improve where they're working out of, or even have building new facilities. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Jason Chalkley, our Assistant Community Development Director, to go ahead and discuss how you can look up permitting on the website and how you can ask for permits. Or so, Jason, you still on?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So thank you. So everything is searchable from the city website. If you go on the Cooper City website, coopercity.gov, there is an icon that you can click on. It will pull up a searchable field where you will put in your address. It'll search all relevant addresses close to yours if it's not an exact match. From there, a list will be displayed of all the permits relative to that address. And then you can click and view any of those individual permits, verifying that they are closed out, anything that still may open. Some of them actually have scanned plans included for your viewing. And
Okay.
our staff is always available if you have questions on that through the building department at extension 351.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jason. That would be 954-434-4300, extension 351.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Wow, this is an interesting question. One we get asked every now and then, and that's that open lot, that empty lot between Walmart and 49th Street. So that would be to the south of Walmart. Great piece of land, unfortunately. And if you could jump to the answer, and Jason, jump in after I say something about this, but this isn't owned by the city. You can see who it's owned by. It's affiliated with Walmart, so we don't have any influence on that being developed because it's privately owned. And I know, Jason, if correct me if I'm wrong, that right now we haven't received any inquiries or know of anything that may be developed there.
Yeah, that's correct. So at this point, we haven't had any proposals come in for anybody to do anything new on the site. It does not currently have an approved site plan on the books. Not saying that somebody couldn't be potentially looking at that site either for a possible expansion, keeping it in-house within Walmart, or potentially selling it. But any activity seen going on would be their own due diligence privately. That has not come into the city for any kind of petition process or starting a site plan process. So.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
Yes, sir.
And I just wanted to mention our CFO, Aaron Kendrick, is on as well. I don't think I mentioned Aaron earlier. Okay, Royal Palm Ranches, sewer connection and fiber optic service. I'm going to ask Jason to go ahead and answer this. It's a unique area, mostly privately owned there, so we're really limited in what we can do because they are mostly privately owned roads. But Jason, if you want to jump in there, please do.
Yeah, so as the city manager indicated, those roads are currently privately owned. Excuse me, with the exception of a couple of residents that did dedicate them over. At time of annexation, back in, I believe, 2004, the city did offer to take over all those roadways, and the residents did not want to dedicate those roadways over. So obviously, with them being privately owned, we're limited what public dollars we can spend on private property, which includes sidewalks and sewer. That issue has been brought up numerous times by the residents and possibly taking them now. And we've had discussions with that neighborhood on what would be involved in taking them over and involved with doing improvements on those roadways, as most of them are substandard conditions now. We still haven't gotten a complete consensus if those residents would want to dedicate them as a whole and fund either by special assessment or tax stipends funding for those improvements. So it's really kind of an up in the air question at this point because there has not been a complete consensus from the neighborhood as a whole.
Thanks, Jason. And Raj Verma has valiantly joined us. He's ill, but has fortunately joined us. But Raj, did you have anything you want to add to that?
Thank you, Joe. No, nothing. I think Jason covered it very well in terms of the sewer lines or the infrastructure. Because the roads are private, there is not a whole lot we can do. But once they are dedicated to the city or some arrangement could be made, then definitely we can work with the residents and we can make the services available. But at this time, it is entirely up to the residents as to how they would want to approach it. There are more than one ways that we can do it, but ultimately the residents would have to take the lead on it and come up with certain ideas as to how they are going to make it happen, because it is going to be a significant financial obligation on their part.
Okay, well, great. Thank you, Raj.
Yes, sir.
Next question. Okay, that's it. As far as the questions that we had before the session, if anybody is on and has a question, like I said, please go to the Q&A and type it in. Francesca, do we have any?
There's no one at the Q&A so far.
All right, great. Well, thank you. All right, well, again, if you have a question, go ahead and please send it to us. And in the meantime, we're going to jump into some of the activities that we have going on. And Stacy, if you wouldn't mind walking us through the next few slides.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Joe. Yes, we have our extravaganza, which will be taking place this Saturday from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock at Flamingo West Park. We'll have our egg hunt along with Mr. and Mrs. Cottontail. The egg hunts are time sensitive and will begin at the specific time that has been indicated. All of the information is readily available on the website as well. We have 4 different age groups for the egg hunts. So that's this Saturday from 10 to 12 out at Flamingo West Park. Autism Awareness Day is a great day. It's a absolutely amazing day where we get to share the resources that are available in the surrounding community for individuals that may have autism, may know somebody with autism. In addition to, that event is Saturday, April 15th from 10 a.m. to 12 at the fire station. We do that in conjunction with BSO as well. Pre-registration is required for that, which we do take at both of our community centers, both pool and tennis, as well as the community center. This is particularly an amazing opportunity for us to also indicate that we are closing in on our becoming our autism designation that we'll be receiving with the city. So we hope to be presented with that from our organization in the latter part of April as well. Summer camp. Can't believe we're getting ready to talk about summer camp. We're getting ready to start our summer camp registration for Cooper City residents. That's going to begin on April 10th. And then from there, it will sequentially go on and open up to if we have spaces for non-residents. This year is going to be, it's going to look a little different for summer camp. We're going to be hosting it out at Pioneer Middle School. So both the elementary camp as well as the teen camp are going to be at the same location. This is actually going to be a first for us. So we're excited to have them at a offsite location so that they can have the opportunity to experience the different activities in one centralized location. So looking forward to having a great summer with an array of activities planned. So another great community event that we have is we do have a Cooper City team that we participate in Relay for Life. This is on Saturday, April 22nd. This year it's being held at Cypress Bay High School. Excuse me. We'll be doing hopefully one community fundraiser in the near future here, and then some other fundraising opportunities as well as part of the city team. The event does start at 3 o'clock, but it's a great opportunity to come out and walk and support the American Cancer Society as well as the Cooper City team. And then, just an additional, of course, all of our information, facility information, programming information is available on the city's website and available to access as well.
Great, thanks, Stacy. A lot going on in Cooper City, that's for sure. Francesca, did we get any more? Questions?
No, we have not.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and close then. And first of all, I want to thank all of our residents who attended. I want to thank our staff for always being on top of things and giving great responses. This will be my last Zoom at noon as your city manager, and it's been an absolute privilege to be able to serve the wonderful residents of Cooper City. I very much appreciate the time and the resources that many of you have devoted to improving Cooper City and being part of Cooper City's process and government. And I also want to thank you all for participating in all of our events. Every time we have an event, it's amazing how many people come out and enjoy the event and express their appreciation for what the city does for them. And I also want to thank this tremendous staff that you see on your screen. You are very well served by a professional, dedicated team that has nothing in mind other than trying to serve you, the residents and the stakeholders in Cooper City, and they do a great job. So thank you, Cooper City, for the opportunity to serve you. It has been an absolute honor and privilege for me to spend the last 3 years with you. And with that, thank you very much. And Francesca, I think we can close it out.